Hello and welcome back to the official rules reveal video here for the multiplayer Bootstrap tournament. And now an official welcome to everyone who has signed up. If you haven't signed up yet, check out the trailer, it's linked in the description, and sign up through this sign up channel here. And yeah, you can read the general information in this channel here. And now we are looking at the more specific information that is just released at this moment basically. While you watch the video. And yeah, we are going to go over the tournament, like how it's playing out, what the rules are, and how the prize pool is designed. And then we will look at the maps that are used in the tournament, the 5 maps, and explain them a bit more in detail. Hope you are sticking around for that. Okay, so let's start with how the tournament is going to play out. We are having 2 dates basically. It's a weekend, 27th and 28th of August. And the sign-ups close on 24th of August, so make sure to sign up until the 24th. And yeah, these 2 dates are crucial because we have 2 events basically during the day, which will probably last for about like 5 to 7 hours, something along those lines. We hope it's over quick and not too long, and you don't have to take so much time, but please plan that if you want to take part in the tournament, to have time during the daytime of these days. Daytime in that sense means the daytime of the average player base, which is probably German. So expect it to be like Central European time daytime basically. So let's say about 10 to 18 maybe. But we cannot really predict exactly when it's going to take place. The exact schedule will be revealed on 24th when the signups close. Yeah, let's go over the first part here. We have planned to have a Swiss tournament style system where everyone plays against everyone else basically. And the best like 8, 16 or maybe even 32 players will be decided by this type of tournament. And we will take them into the second half to the elimination bracket on the next day. If you just want to play in the first half and you want to forfeit your place, like your seat, that you might earn to someone else you played against, that is totally fine. You can also just take part on the first part and then forfeit your seat to someone else. As long as you earned that seat, it's allowed for you to forfeit it to someone else. But details about that will be revealed later on. We might want to intervene if that's like the one who was placed last, or if that's one who hasn't played Bootstrap at all. I don't think that makes for a great experience for them to play in the elimination bracket against the better half of the players. And yeah, in this elimination bracket, players will play in a best of 3 format. In this first half, they will play in a best of 2, which is basically each player chooses a home map. And in the best of 3, each player chooses a home map, and the third map is decided at random from the 5 maps that are in the map pool. If you have to play it, you don't have to play all 3 games. If you win 2 in a row, then you already decided you win. And yeah, let's see. It really depends on how people have prepared specific maps for this tournament. I assume that some just prepare one map and others are more like broad players that just want to learn the style in general. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, during semifinals and finals, that is also a special thing for our tournament. We will have all these, like in the elimination bracket and the first half, games will run in parallel, of course, because we cannot stream all the games on one channel. That is just simply not possible. So we will have them held in generally parallel format with the watchers watching. Like all of the teachers will be watchers and some trusted players might be watchers as well. More about it in the rules. And yeah, these will be held in parallel, and in parallel to the semifinals and finals, we will also play games for seeds up to 8th place. So you have to stick around until the end of the tournament unless you want to auto-lose and like forfeit your place. That is also possible. You don't need to play the last games. That's fine. It's just so that you know we will play until the 8th place at least, so that the prize pool is divided more fairly among the players. And you will see why that is later on, because it's a winner picks first prize pool. Yeah, anyways. Finals and small finals will be held in best of 5, so all 5 maps will be played. Then you have to learn all the maps if you want to win the tournament, basically. And yeah, and if you cannot advance in the elimination bracket, you forfeit your seat automatically. Like if you don't have time to play the next round, for example, someone from the players who lost will take your seat. That's just so we have all the games possible. Yeah, now up to the rules. It's basically just don't use glitches, don't use cheats, don't use any exploits or external programs. That's the main rule, basically. Anything else is, of course, decided by the Bootstrap side itself. Like, we don't have peacetime, we play on 0 gold. This is not in the rules itself, but it's obvious because we have like set the settings in the patcher, and you just play with the normal settings. The watcher is usually setting up the games. And yeah, you will play with 0 gold, 0 peacetime, 25 of each food type as starting resources, and 100 wood as starting resources. That's all you get, and the Lord, of course. No starting units, no starting stone or anything like that. So be prepared to train with that as well, because all of this is done by the patcher. If you haven't installed the patcher yet, this is the best time to advertise the setup channel. And if you still don't understand how to install the patcher yourself, how to set up your game to play in this tournament, yeah, just ask away in the tournament lobby. No one will blame you for it. It's always fine to ask about these things. Yeah, what else is important about the rules? Yeah, if you are lagging, if you have a bad connection, that's basically up to you. We cannot do anything about it, but we have to take measures against it. We don't want to have lagging games in the finals, especially. And we don't want to give players who have a lagging connection always the benefit of the doubt. So people who lag out of the game, they automatically lose their game, unless it's like obviously not their fault. Maybe their opponent did something, who cares exactly what happened. But yeah, the watcher will definitely decide in that case if it's fair that a player gets the loss for lagging out, or like disconnecting in this case. And yeah, watchers also must record the games so we can see what happened in case of incidents. And yeah, bad manners obviously will be punished. What else is there to say? You're not allowed to place structures in permanently inaccessible locations. That is just in like watcher keep areas usually. Other areas you should be able to get dug up, and you can like access them later on, or like you can put a tower next to a wall and climb up a ledge, something like that. Those are not permanently inaccessible, just the permanently inaccessible areas here. And yeah, what else? Any rule violation, of course, will be managed by the watcher. The watcher has the last word. The watcher basically is the law. So if the watcher says something, you better listen to them. They are in charge. Yeah, the watcher is basically the third player who is on the watcher keep watching the game, if that wasn't clear yet. You win the games by killing your opponent's lord. And yeah, this might change this time. We are not 100% decided yet. But if a game goes too long, for some reason, the watcher can call an end and decide a winner. Like if it was really clear that it's just a dragged out game and one player just basically has no choice to win anymore. Or he can, or she, the watcher can decide to play a tiebreaker map game. And the tiebreaker map will be revealed later on. But it will not be really trainable, I guess. It's more like a really chaotic map. So expect that it's just pure skill and luck if you exceed this time. It's not encouraged in Bootstrap to bunker up at all. Usually it's easy to break a fortified location if you know what you're doing. But yeah, of course it can happen. So we have to instate some rule so that games don't drag out for like 3 hours or something. And we also want to get through the rounds, right? That's why we have this in place. This time, as I said, might change depending on how the training goes and how many players we have. Yeah, and what you definitely know already, everyone gets a teacher assigned until 24th of August. And you definitely have the right to call your teacher for a personal meeting before the tournament. At least 1 hour of personal strategizing and getting your tactics together for the tournament, especially on like your preferred maps and stuff like that. And analyzing your tactics. And yeah, we will assign the teachers from Saturday on, so watch out tomorrow. We will start assigning teachers, and then there will be a public list of players and teachers who belong together. But that doesn't hinder you from talking to whoever you want, play with whoever you want. We definitely encourage you to play with more than just your teacher and ask also questions always publicly, if possible. Ask them right away to anyone who's online. You can always ask teachers personally as well, even if it's not your teacher, it doesn't matter. Just ask, get knowledgeable, play a bit around with the new balance, and yeah, get to know the game. Yeah, and what about the prize pool? Yeah, it doesn't look too impressive right now, but it definitely will fill up more. There will be additions to this in the future. This is just what is currently in the pool, and it's a winner picks first pool. So there's like a list of items, and as soon as someone took an item, they definitely cannot take another item. So the winner picks the first item, the second plays the second item, and so on. But they can decide which of these items they want to take, and the other ones are left with the rest. Of course, you can trade items with each other afterwards. Like a 15 euro Steam card gift is of course a gift card is of course more valuable than this. But yeah, I've listed them in an order that is arbitrary here. You can just pick whatever you want in whichever situation you are. Okay, and yeah, there's some more fine print on some of these options. I guess you can read the rules yourself if you want to know more details or ask in the comments. Yeah, now we are going to look at the maps after we've already talked so long about the rules. And yeah, the maps can be found by clicking on name up in the top, T1 to T5. So the first map I will show you is Caramel Rivers. And I'm not talking too much about strategy here. I'm just talking about the map in general and what you should look out for and what isn't like immediately obvious to some people maybe, and what is maybe specifically interesting to the Bootstrap style. So yeah, we can of course place a granary here, and usually what you want to do, I've already done it in the stream, you want to place a lot of woodcutters at the start of the starting wood to get your economy going. I usually like to place like 15 to 20 woodcutters at the start. You can place less, of course, if you don't know what to do with the wood, but yeah. Next up is hunters. On maps like these, where there are a lot of deer, you definitely want to hunt. And on this map, the first special thing is that there are deer blocking your most, like your closest iron location. And you definitely want to get rid of these. Next up, you place some houses usually. And we get a quarry here. One quarry locations here. You can only place one quarry on each spot. These are usually obviously marked. Yeah, other things that are not so obvious. I only wanted to point out the not so obvious things. So let's purchase some more wood and place down some stuff. Yeah, I could. Sorry for being so slow. And yeah, okay, we can look at other things. For example, you have a wheat farm right next to you. You can also build another farm here. And you have a lot of farm spots that look like this. And you're not able to put a wheat farm or a hops farm here. But these are possible to be placed on by a dairy or a apple farm. On top here you have another 2 wheat farm spots. And you have another 2 wheat farm spots over here. Other than that, all of these farm spots here are apple and cheese only. And this farm spot here, you can decide if you want the farm spot or the quarry. Usually you go for the quarry anyways. And yeah, these deer are blocking, so you need to get rid of them first. Yeah, what else? There's pitch. It's not easy to see. We might add Monsterfish textures for the pitch later on if it's requested. You can also replace your stockpile closer to the wheat farm if you want, but it's not necessary for maximum efficiency though. Okay, yeah, the pitch rigs. There's 3 here and 3 more here in the back, where there's 1 more wheat farm spot. And then there's another farm spot here in the middle and more pitch rigs in this river, as you can see. And yeah, other than that, we have this neutral tower here, which cannot be repaired. It's on both sides and they don't range each other. So if you put a archer here, it cannot range here. And they cannot shoot each other, but they can shoot down in this little valley. And that's also recommended to use for an early archer to have some sight over these valleys, because otherwise you cannot really look into them. And these stones are usually blocking your sight if you put archers right next to the edge. Yeah, what else is important? You can wall down these iron ramps here with a small wall. and a stair. Or alternatively, you can build a gatehouse. And in that case, you want to build a small wall to the corner here to get up and down this gatehouse. It's a bit unintuitive, I know. Yeah, don't blame me for it, please. You can also put it right, like one further to the front and put the small wall in between. Like, we need to build another stockpile real quick. Like this way, for example. No, you cannot build it here because it's too far away from your castle. Here you can build it, of course. You could do it like this. Anyways, yeah, just so you know, it's possible to gate up and down these ledges here. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't think anything else. Ah, there's one more thing. You can, of course, take down these walls here. It's recommended to... let's sell some of this wood. Usually I don't sell wood, but in this case... You can also attack this wall. The Lord does a lot of damage to buildings with the Rebalance. So you can use him. Or you can use any other unit for that matter. To take down this wall. And only if you've taken down the wall, you can climb up this ramp faster. You can use a gate again, or you can use the small stairs again here to basically go up this ledge, and that will enable you to get faster iron from these 5 iron spots that are up here. Yeah, where are the stone and iron spots really quick? We have one stone spot over here. We have one stone spot over here to the side. We have one stone spot up here, and then there's 2 more over here. And 1 here in the middle. That is 6 stone spots per player basically. And yeah, now the iron spots, there's 1 here in the back. There's 1 here pretty close, 1 here pretty close. And then there's 5 on this side. And 5 on this side. And then there's like 2 more over here, if I'm correct. And 2 more over here. Yes, that's all the iron spots. If I don't, if I haven't forgotten anything, you will probably correct me if I did. And yeah, that's it for Caramel Rivers. Maybe it's a quick strategy I would recommend is like getting on one of the high grounds and protecting that side. The other one probably just defending from your like ledge here. And you always want to keep the middle path open to push because yeah, you cannot moat or wall across the swamp. So there's always a path to push your opponent. And you can of course also use siege engines to gun down your opponent's economy from this little front here, or another front here. And you can also put, what I haven't shown yet, you can put a siege tower against these walls, and that will create a little bridge from one side to the other. So one siege tower on one of these walls will already open the path directly. Yeah, you can also climb up and down with assassins here, but yeah, that's enough really now with this map, and we are looking at the next one, which is Crater Lake. I think this is already a way like easier map to play because there are less extra features. Okay, yeah, that was not a good showing. I need of course to put myself on a normal keep here. This is the watcher keep in the middle. And yeah, on this map the specialty here is that you only have 4 non-wheat farm spots. 1, 2, 3, 4 available to you. And you need to mainly hunt deer and get by with religion and beer. Unless, of course, you claim these outside farm spots here, which are like possible to place wheat farms on. And yeah, the main thing on this map is that you have these little high grounds on each of the leaves here. If you like see these as like leaves, there are 8 leaves in total, 4 on each side. And this is kind of like a crater that got created by a meteor that's smashed into the ground. That's kind of the history of the map. And yeah, now looking at this, you have a lot of resources, right? You have a stone spot right next to your stockpile here. And one thing also is for sure, you have not that much wood in the close vicinity. You have these little trees. They need to grow up before they yield any meaningful wood deliveries. So you want to probably go out for some trees in the further away region. And not cut down the ones close by right away. And what you also want to do is you want to claim these high grounds, as I showed previously. These high grounds are the core to your game plan. How many leaves and which side you want to go, that is really up to you, and how you want to use the resources close by. There's also pitch here in these little rivers. 2 pitch rigs here. I think 1, 2, 3 pitch rigs here. They are usually enclosed by these little stones. So that's how you can spot them easily. Yeah, more pitch over here, and like basically pitch everywhere. And yeah, in this corner here, and in the opposite corner, of course, because it's mirrored, there is a lot of wood that you can cut down, and which will be the thing that you probably fight for to advance your economy later on. Maybe not, depends on how much wood you cut down early and how much you can let grow over time. Okay, so much for this, like the features of this map. What would be your strategy? You like claim these high grounds, right? But then how would you proceed? Yeah, you get some religion, some ale, some beer. You can of course build heavy units right away because you have so much iron nearby, and you might want to push one of the sides. Usually you just decide for one of the sides. It's easier to push, I guess, from high ground to middle ground, and then the other way around. Like I don't really know. Push from the high ground through the canyon to the other side is probably easier. Like I think to the right is easier to push, and for your opponent of course as well. And it's harder to defend from middle ground to the high ground here. So you might want to push to the right and like get your opponent's economy. And the one who's pushing faster, the side that he can push, the one who's claiming more of the map usually wins. So you want to have your critical mass of units faster than your opponent. You can see I'm swimming in food, so don't worry about the food supply. It's actually not that little if you have a little population. But as soon as you have like higher populations and use all of these outside resources here, you definitely want to have some alternative sources of popularity. Just saying. Yeah, I think that's all for this map. If you have any suggestions for tactics, if you have any discussions, put them in the Discord, of course. We will discuss them with you, and yeah, maybe even discuss them with your personal trainer if you find a unique solution or strategy that might work here. Yeah, one thing maybe you can also see, there's a wide path on each side. And even if you defend these ledges, these little high grounds, there's still some paths that enemy assassins or like small raid troops can sneak by, so be aware of that. It's a quite open map in that regard. Yeah, let's look at the next one, which is called Fork. And Fork is a map that is derived from the previous Bootstrap map, Trident, if you have seen that maybe. And yeah, Fork is one of the maps with a lot of space for economy. So this is kind of one of the late game maps I would advocate, where you can really get to a proper late game and have a hill covered off with defenders. Yeah, you have like a natural cliff here that you can defend quite easily against your opponent. And on this, one specialty is that you cannot really... Let's put some granary somewhere. Yeah, you see these farm spots right there. Again, apple only farm spots, or like apple and cheese only basically. And there's only 2 wheat farm spots over here. And you usually want to make sure, like with hunters, maybe you haven't seen that yet, want to place at least 1 cathedral distance, like width of distance away from the deer, as they don't hunt. And these might not hunt because there is woodcutters blocking the side. It remains to be seen. Just some things to look out for while I'm already explaining the maps. And yeah, basically you have these, you have this like natural shape to defend, but anything else outside of that, like all of these stone resources, you have only 1 quarry quite close, 2 that are out here, and all of these stone resources and all of these farms. Yeah, for that you need map control basically. You can also get a lot of pitch here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitch rigs that I can spot right now, and there's 2 more iron mines. So there's a lot of resources gained outside your defensive protective safe zone. Yeah, and to claim that you definitely need map control, but usually it's enough to just claim 1 of the side hills, leave the other to the opponent, and then go from there. You can also build heavy artillery on these high ground ledges here to fire some projectiles at your opponent. Yeah, let's see. I'm really curious how people will evolve on this map. There's one special thing that you might not see immediately, and this is this neutral high ground wall here. Let me put something there real quick. You can climb up that wall with a siege tower. So let's build a siege tower really quick. So we have this siege tower here, and it should be able to, you see this, there's only one tile that you can click on, and that is the middle one of these 3 tiles here. And with that tile, you're then able to walk up and down this ramp, and that will propel your iron production from these like iron mines here to new heights. And yeah, you also can walk up and down this frontier here if you haven't seen that yet. And you can basically cross the river at any point. There's no real barrier there. Yeah. If you take down the wall though, yeah, we need iron for the siege ram, battering ram. Let's buy some iron, which is really expensive. Free iron, in fact, we need for this. So if you take down this this wall here, you can probably place your own wall. Let's see. I'm not sure if it's inside, in range. And that should be... Come on. I'm not sure. Can I place the wall already? Yes. Okay. So now you can see, if you don't have the wall here, you can still place your own wall to go up and down this ledge with a siege tower. Of course, you would have the siege tower placed after the wall is placed, because you need the wall to put your siege tower against it. So in case you someone else destroys it, you can still rebuild it. Yeah, anyways, that's enough for this map. Let me know how you like the map so far in the comments below. If you find them too difficult, if you find them easy enough to play. And we will look at the next one, which is the map by Crusader Pilaf. And this one is a very interesting one, because in my opinion, this is the most hard, the most difficult to master and to play. Maybe not to master, but to play. The other ones might be more difficult to master. In this case, though, you have a split economy, basically. You need this wood at the start, so you're kind of forced to defend it. Yeah, you can always see what I'm doing here. You have these apple orchards here, quite close to each other in the middle. And that requires you to season these farms, if you can see it, to use their full potential. So right now you can see he doesn't have a worker, like work here. And so he's going to this apple orchard and collecting the apples to bring them to the granary. And that is also one thing you might want to do. And for that you need to time that the farms are alternatingly producing apples, basically. Yeah, these woodcutters are usually the bane of your economy if you don't protect them. So I would recommend to sell some food at the start and go for some defenders here right away. But you can also go for completely different wood sources. Maybe you can shut off your opponent's wood supply with some assassins. That also helps. And yeah, this is a really, really difficult map, because of you have these iron mines here on one side and you have the stone on the other side. And the build range, I can show you this real quick. Let's sell some more food. You can see how much apples I'm producing. This is insane. The build range here basically ends on top of the hill. Like, you don't have more build range than this, right? So you need to protect your economy, but you cannot wall it in. And on the other side as well, like, there's a build range ending about here somewhere. Yeah, that's like this kind of. And yeah, also in the front, of course, you cannot wall all your farms in. If you put your granary here, it's out of your build range for walls. So yeah, look out for that. You might be able to mode those, so you can like mode something here, but that is just a... Yeah, this might not be enough. You need to really look out for your protection zone. Especially the quarries are really important in Bootstrap. You need the stone to advance, and therefore be careful to protect them, but usually you want to go for the wood first and then maybe go for the stone later. Maybe go for the stone later. You can decide your strategy really. Maybe just go for the low ground eco. Yeah, there's many possibilities, but it's so open that it's really hard to protect all sides at once, and I would really urge you to focus on one hill and not get overwhelmed by the multi-prong attack from your opponent. Yeah. What else is on hill hopping? We have like a lot of iron mines here on this hill. We have 2 stone quarries. We have a 2 farm situation here for wheat farms. You can only place wheat farms or hops farms here. You cannot build, in fact, you cannot build any dairy or apple orchards over here. And these 3 farms are apple and dairy farms. And there's a lot of deer on the top side here, and especially not especially the same as well. The same here on the other side. And there's also a lot of wood in the middle, and this is also one strategy you can go for. You can go for claiming the middle and harassing your opponent's food economy at the start. And yeah, these hills basically give you the idea for game plans, right? There's 2 more hills with iron, 1 more hill with a stone quarry. All of these resources are not really that important. More important is to hold the hill, to keep some defenders here, so you have some side and advantage on top of these hills, some side on the map. And can keep an eye out for possible raids from assassins, from slaves, anything really that raids. Yeah, so much for hill hopping. Let's go to the last map, and that is laboratory. And for this probably we need to talk a bit longer. Yeah, this map is inspired by Turtle Creek. Oh, I need to put the snake on the hill here. This map is inspired by Turtle Creek. A map where you are really safe on a hill, and you have like this labyrinth in the middle of the map. But it's not really a labyrinth. You basically just cross the map right through the middle here, and it's not that labyrinthic. But there are some kind of barriers to not cross sideways as much and go more like straight to the opponent, so troops will not meet as easily in the middle. And avoid your opponent's army that way, basically, by not getting chased by them. Yeah, there's 2 more things we need to look at, and that is one thing is this moat here. You can dig the moat to get more stone, and this is probably one of the most late game focused strategies, to go for a lot of stone, and that gives you the advantage in terms of putting siege engines that cost stone, like catapults and trebuchets, around the map, like over here maybe, to harass your castle's enemy castle's economy. And you probably will need to do that at some point, because it's kind of easy to fortify your hill here. And the other thing we need to look at is this little ledge here, which is again a ledge that you can build a... Yeah, we also want to put some hunters here, so we can hunt the deer. There's plenty of deer here. Yeah. Let's sell some food. And yeah, this ledge has a specialty, because you have to decide. Do you want to get the iron mine, or you want to get the gatehouse? You can only get the gatehouse and get full potential of these downside resources if you build this gatehouse here. Like now I can go down this gatehouse basically, but then I don't have the iron mine. And if I build the iron mine, I have to build a staircase down if you want to use this ledge. I can still do that, but it's not as efficient. And if you want to have a wheat farm right next to your stockpile, for example, yeah, this is the way to go. Same with pitch rigs here. They produce much faster for this type of economy, but you lose out on this iron mine. And yeah, there's 1 more stone quarry here, 1 and 2 iron mines on the hill, and all the other resources, you guessed it already, are not really safe. Like, you have a build range that reaches to these corners here almost. You can see it. You can maybe moat a bit, but there's a swamp place here, so you cannot moat fully, and you have to defend the rest of the path basically. You can see you can try to moat, but there's some swamp everywhere, and yeah, it will definitely allow enemy troops to pass by. So if you defend, you probably want to build a wall on these little ledges here instead. Might be the better way to go and limit your opponent's movement inside of your castle. Yeah, there's multiple farms on this map. These farm spots here, they are useful for anything really. You can put wheat farms, you can apple orchards, you can put dairy farms, and all of the farm spots that have trees on them. Basically, there's 1, 2. Oh no, I think I'm getting attacked here. Oh no 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 no. Oh no. Yeah, I think I'm kinda dying right now. I need a well which costs 3 spawn in this case. Yeah, okay. Let's go back to the farm slots. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 extra farm spots are here. They are like alternating with the other ones. They have trees on them, and you need to cut down the trees to get to them. And they only have space for wheat and hops farms. You cannot place dairy farms or apple orchards on them. Only wheat and hops. Yeah, and what else is important to notice? Yeah, there's some pitch rigs here. Yeah, that you can build. I really need to spend a bit more. Maybe this will help. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, there's multiple pitch rigs here in the swamp. You can see it here like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. I can see immediately. But maybe you can spot more. You will definitely have to look for them in training. And there's a few iron mines here. 1, 2, 3, 4 iron mines out and about here in the bottom. And yeah, other than that, there are a lot of extra resources in the middle of the map, of course, which you have to fight for. But I would recommend for new players, find a good strategy around your base resources first, before advancing into more sophisticated strategies and getting extra resources. You can always claim extra resources during the match if you have enough troops and have an army nearby. You can build all of these pitch rigs here. Pitch is really valuable to sell with Rebalance. Yeah, I think that's also it for this map. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you understood all the rules and all the balance. And you can play a lot with the other training partners. Everyone who's signed up will be announced tomorrow. Like, there will be the list of the mentors and the sign-ups. And you can, yeah, ping them in Discord for training, or like just ask in the tournament chat if anyone is up for some games. And I really recommend playing on these maps and trying things out. Yeah, that's it from me, and I'll see you soon on the battlefield. Bye for now.